see. There we go. Looks like pretty clear. Wait and see if we get anybody on here. So we're in the shop today in the barn, and we had a neighbor ask us to put a hitch on their four-wheeler, and so that's what we're doing. We got the four-wheeler here, and the little hitch they had on the back was not really doing well. Hey Ted, no, I did not make 1,000. I wish. I went out and got me a computer, and so now I'm trying it. I'm using my phone as a hotspot and using the computer, using the Wi-Fi off the phone to run the computer, and then doing the live off the computer. So that's how we're doing it. Heavenly Hill, how y'all doing? Appreciate you coming in. So we're welding a hitch on the back of a four-wheeler. I had some scrap metal laying around, so I made them a little receiver tube, and they wanted something with a ball and a hole so they could pull their little manure spreader and pull their arena drag. So I had some spare tubing laying around, and we're going to weld this little piece on here to hold the ball, and then weld this tubing onto the back of the four-wheeler. So I thought I would do it live, and I'll try to read and keep up with the comments in between. I'm going to see if I can't just kind of, I got y'all on my like little rolling mechanic stool. So I'm going to see, I'm going to move here, if I can't just turn y'all to where you can see what's kind of going on. There we go. And then I got my phone available so I can read the comments there if I need to. So what y'all up to today? This is the same neighbor we sell hay to them, and she was looking for somebody that could weld, and I said, well, I know I don't have a lot of time, but while I'm waiting on dew to dry off, I figured I could take care of this. Get that clamped on like so, and then we're just going to weld her up. So for my welder, I've just got it's a little Hobart 180. It'll do 210 or at work. Blacktopping, fun stuff, Ted. Well, I'm at work too, but I'm going to try to make video of it. So I think that's kind of fun as well. But this isn't anything special. This is just some thin wall tubing that I had here, and that's why I put the plate on, so it would give a little bit more rigidity for what they're doing and support. It's still thicker than what the factory hitch is, and I drilled through both to put their little ball hitch on there, and they're not towing much weight. I don't think this thing's like a little 250 four-wheeler or something. Midwest Alice. Well, everything we're on the computer instead of living from the phone, but I think it's going to work. I'm using the hotspot off the phone, and the picture looks pretty clear. So we're welding a little hitch on here, and I'm going to turn the welder on real quick and go ahead and get a tack or two on this thing. Make sure it's where we want it. Michigan Hay Sales, how's it going? Appreciate you stopping in. So maybe when we get done here, I can tell some stories about what's been going on the farm. And all y'all that follow me on Facebook might know a little bit about what's been going on. But see if we can't get this ground here to ground good. Now, hopefully this don't mess up my computer. That should be tacked on there good. Hopefully that didn't blind y'all. Well, the John Deere round baler went back to John Deere. Well, and I had about 100 acres of hay get rained on, so I understand all about the rain there, Michigan hay sales. It's I think it's going to be another 2018 or so, but you know, it is what it is. The Lord will giveth and the Lord taketh, and He'll make sure we don't do without. I know that. Let's see here, I got to turn my heat up a little bit. My wire speed. Right now, I'm not baling with anything. I'm going to go out today. I went and borrowed a friend's baler yesterday. We don't have a Kubota baler or a John Deere baler. We've got a couple of demos that are coming out this week. And right now, I've got a 1745 Massey Ferguson net wrap round baler in the barn here. And so that's what we're going to use to get up this rained on hay, unfortunately. All right, let me throw a couple welds on this thing real quick. Not a bad gig at all. Golden in the 40s. Hey, Ralph, congratulations on getting your monetization, man. I think that's pretty awesome. Appreciate you stopping in. I don't envy the 40s. It's supposed to be about 82 and 83 today. We've been having a lot of humidity issues. I had hay ready to bale Wednesday and Thursday. And when I get done welding this on, I'll tell a little bit more about kind of what went on with the baler there. Let me weld this here. We're just going to have to wait till I'm done. I can leave a voicemail. I think we are pretty solid on this four-wheeler. I don't think that's going to go anywhere whatsoever. Might put just a little bit more weld on this side here. All right. Uh-oh, we got a fire. Must have had some oil on the floor there. She is not going to go anywhere. I can guarantee that. I'll show you all my welds here a little closer in a second. So next, I'm going to weld this little hitch here. Make sure I get some ground on there. Can y'all hear me? When I got the welding helmet on, can y'all hear me? Hey, Happy Lux, how's it going? I'm working on it, Ralph. I'm working on it. So if anybody's just stopping in, we're welding a hitch on the back of a neighbor's four-wheeler here. I built them a little receiver. That way they can put different things in it. I also made them a little receiver so they didn't have to go out to the store and buy what they needed. And they have a little ball on it, a little ring so they can pull their arena drag. And we're going to weld this little piece up and then probably talk a little bit about what happened with the baler. By no means, guys, am I a professional welder, but let me get a wire brush here and I'll scrape this off. I don't know how well the lighting is. That's a decent little bead there. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Try to hold it up there in the camera where y'all can see it. Got a little spot where I stopped and started there. That's what that little hole is. But it doesn't need much. Like I say, they're not going to be hauling too much. I'm going to put a couple more little beads on it here. I call it farm welding. I am not taught by any means, except for just tips and advice from other people. But no kind of welding background. Gun stuff. Some comments here. Let's see here. Let's see if it says we got 5 people still on here. You know, a lot of people are at work, probably can't do much typing or whatnot, but there we go. Little sticky jackson. I do have gas on this welder, so it does make for a little bit of a nicer bead. That's one good thing. Oh, I didn't grind the paint off right there. We just might have to burn it off. Not hook you. You're kind of in my way there. Get that. Do one more across the front. We're done. That should be good there. Not going to go anywhere, so we welded it on all 4 sides there. We'll get us some black spray paint, stick it in there, and spray paint it once it cools off, and she's ready to come pick it up. I didn't have an extra hitch pin. I just drilled all these holes. I did have a big enough bolt and lock nut, some big washers I could put on the thing. I'm not even going to tighten it all the way tight. I'm just going to turn that lock nut a couple of turns in case they want to take it off. I'm sure they don't have any big wrenches. They're not those type of folk. There we go. A little bit of spray paint. She's got her hitch. All right. Take this welding helmet off here. Sitting in the warm tractor. I'm about to go sit in the air-conditioned tractor, I hope. So I'm gonna see. I don't know how far I can walk around with this thing, but I'll show you all this 1745 here. So this is the 1745 we're borrowing from a friend, and we can always use the old square baler back there. We've got the 1845 back there behind it, and I do still have my Vermeer round baler that I can go get. It's just not putting out as nice a bail as it used to. I'm wanting to actually rebuild the whole baler and have it for just a good spare. But so here's a couple things, guys, that happened with the baler, and I'm not even gonna do a video on it. I'm not gonna blast anybody. The dealer was excellent and did I think for the most part what he could to help. But so when I went and purchased the baler, the guy assured me that he was going to give me better service than what I was getting from my dealer 2 miles from my house. And I'm not saying that he couldn't give me better service, but that's where in my idea the trust with the relationship started. I kind of went with in mind to go buy a Vermeer baler, honestly, and he just sold me on the Kubota baler. Said it's going to out-bail it, be a better baler, and that I would like it. And he reassured me, that he could fix the problems that I was having with the M5, which wasn't addressed. It was addressed, but it wasn't fixed. It still doesn't steer. The loader still leaks down just the same as it was. They did do some work on the cutter and reassemble it, fix it for the most part. So it seems I've cut 100 acres with it. It did pretty good. The baler at that time in February, when I made the video, February, March, of me picking up the baler, was supposed to, I asked or requested for it to have been set up to the tractor then. That way, when springtime came, everything would be ready to go, and we knew we wouldn't have any problems. Springtime, well, I'll go to pick up the tractor. They didn't have time to address fixing the baler. For whatever reason. They put the back window in, looked at the steering issue. I don't know if they looked at the hydraulics leaking down issue or not. They said they did, so I have to take their word for it. But it's still leaking down. So I go and I picked up the baler anyways because I didn't want it sitting in the weather all through the winter. I wanted it in my barn. That may have even been January. Right the 1st of February, I'm pretty sure it was. I'd have to look back in my videos and see. But so, cut that welder off there. So that was kind of the first thing. He didn't set up the baler. So the next issue was I get it home, and like any other guy, I've got it in my barn, and I'm down here one evening when I didn't have anything to do, and I'm just kind of drooling over my new baler, anxious to get it in the field. And I look down at the fin plate on it, and it says, manufacturer year and the model year. And the manufacturer year was 2016 for the model year 2017. I understand this is a European built baler. So if you wanted a 2019 baler, you're going to have to probably wait till 2020 to get it. But if you wanted a 2018 baler, it should be available at this point in time. It's 2019. I did not know that I was purchasing an already few-year-old Hey, Doug, from Alabama. Appreciate you stopping in, telling a little story about my round baler here. Um, but so I did not realize that I was purchasing a 2017 model baler that was built in 2016. And I was a little concerned. I called the dealer at that point. He reassured me that it didn't matter, that there was going to be no issues with the baler or anything like that. Um, and I'll go ahead and state, when I went and bought this baler, I didn't ask price. I didn't haggle price. I just said, how much is it? And I signed the paperwork. I didn't call any other dealers to ask price. I didn't, I just trusted that I was going to buy a new round baler. And yes, this was new, had never been used, but in my eyes, it is not new when it comes to resale. I already have to say that it is a 2017 baler, not a 2018 or 2019, which I expect, especially for that kind of money. So I kept it. I didn't say anything. I just said, I trusted in the guy. He says he would be here this spring to get it ready. I called him when I was cutting hay. I said, should I put, 15, 20 acres of hay on the ground so that way we get everything tested? Hey, Bob, appreciate you stopping in. That way we get everything tested to make sure it's going to work properly. He said, no, Bryant, baler worked just fine. He said, you can lay it to it. How much hay you want to cut? I said, well, I said, how much you think we can get up in 2 days? He said, 100 acres should be no problem. So I cut 100 acres. That's the most hay I have ever cut to start my season. Just in case you have issues, you don't want to cut a lot, but I cut 100 acres and trusting this guy. They show up on Wednesday at 1:45, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're ready to bale hay here at 10:30, 11 o'clock. We're starting to rake hay at noon at the latest. So I'm using my computer for the live stream and using my phone as a hotspot, Doug. But so the gentleman shows up here a little late in the afternoon, goes to set up the baler in the tractor. This baler is supposed to have electric density control from in the cab. Silage scrapers were requested to be put on it, which they did, and high flotation tires. So those were some extra things that I added to the baler. He gets here and he's trying to adjust all the pressures and stuff. He can't figure it out. And he goes, oh, this baler doesn't have the electric sensors. And right then, I've had enough trouble with new equipment lately. I just said, well, you can go back to your shop and you can get the stuff and you can come back to fix it. So he comes back the next day and he's got this little valve in his hand. It's not in a new box or anything like that. I guess he had it laying in his toolbox. Goes to put it on the baler. Baler's already supposed to have the wiring for this electronic valve. Goes to remove a panel. Wiring's not there. Now, this gentleman goes to school every year for these balers. This baler was built in the year 2016 and it's a 2017 model. So why didn't he know these wires wouldn't be there? If you buy the electronic kit and order it that comes that I ordered for this baler, the wires are in the box. But they didn't put a new one on it. I guess they had one just laying around the shop. And at that point, I talked with the owner of the dealer and I said, if he can't bring me a new baler, being a 2018 model baler with the things that I requested on it, that he could take that baler back. And he said he felt it would be best to end the relationship, that if I had trust issues with him, that he didn't want to do business with me. And I will say this, that's the last piece of Kubota equipment Saunders SLC Farms will buy. And I hate that because I really like Kubota equipment, but I have yet to have the first sales rep contact me, the first hay person contact me in dealing with the tractors and dealing with the broke cutters I've had. And even with all the issues I've had, I've stuck through and through. And so we don't care how much of a deal. And I did some calling around and found out I got a $700 price break on that baler, and that was due to shipping. So there wasn't even like there was a price break on the baler. And I had two other dealers tell me that it was wrong, that I should have been told what model year that was. I feel I should have at least been given a choice in what baler I had. You know, he got 4 new ones in a couple weeks after. And I didn't want something that's been sitting on somebody's lot for a year. And that's what it had been sitting on his for a year. And who knows where it's sat for the previous time from when it was manufactured in 2016. I don't know what that does to the rubber on the belts with the sun eroding them. I don't know what the rainwater does to the bearings from sitting on them, but I am sure that it shortens the life of them. Probably right within when the warranty period comes out, and then I'm responsible for it. And so the John Deere baler that we had out, very nice baler. Couple of faults. It won't fit in my barn. I don't want to use baby powder on a baler with net wrap. I put out 3 bales with it and had net wrap wrapped around a rear roller in the net wrap housing. And they said it was due to not enough baby powder on the thing or something. And that was just they're trying to sell me on it. And I really like the Deere dealership, great guys there. But we're waiting. My guy that does my hay rebaling for me is a Massey dealer as well. And he has been waiting on the new V4 or the 4160V Massey baler. It's supposed to be a Lely built baler. You know, AGCO acquired Lely back last year or 2 years ago. It's the same exact baler as a Vermeer 504 Pro, maybe with a couple of updates. He has just came off the ship. It does have a serial number and it's supposed to be here on the 15th. We were hoping to have already had it here, and I actually would have bought that baler before I bought the Kubota baler, but I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to get up hay in the manner that I wanted to get it up. I'm trying to get my efficiency up this year and do more acreage in less time with less people. Hence, we're not going to put a square baler in the field except for a couple of custom jobs. We are going to round bale everything and send it down to the rebaler and bring it back on tractor trailer. It's just that much faster and more efficient for me to get it out of the field, and I can do it all by myself. Ted, it really is a shame. I'm very disappointed because I honestly really, really like this brand right here. I like their skid steers, their excavators, their tractors. It's a shame that in the years that I've been with my first tractor that I bought new was a 2014. I had a couple of used ones before that. I have never met the first sales rep for my district. I've never met the first hay rep. I've never got the first Kubota person that sold me a piece of equipment out to my farm to show me how to use it. And that's where the dealer support is in our area. And I don't care if you drive an hour and a half for it. When the guy showed up without the wiring for the baler, I think when the dealer took that baler back and ended the relationship, he knew he was in the wrong. And that's why he didn't want to replace the baler. He says in the paperwork that he sent back to Kubota that I am not happy with the baler, and I'm very happy with the baler. It put out a better bale than that John Deere baler. I've got them sitting side by side. I'm not happy with the year model of the baler, and I'm not happy with the fact that it wasn't set up when I asked it to be set up over the winter correctly. If they would have hooked it to my tractor, they would have known it didn't have the variable density pressure control already on it. They would have known it didn't have the wiring for it. And this would have never been an issue. So that's my rant. I am going to leave this video up. I'm not going to name any dealers whatsoever. People can figure out that for themselves. And, it's just a shame. And I really think that our Massey dealer is, I've bought multiple pieces of equipment from them. My tedder, my baler, they've never had an issue. I would be in a Massey 4710 instead of that Kubota M5, but the lease hours were just not good enough. The lease hours on the Kubota were about 200 more hours a year, and we have already gone over what the hours are on the Kubota, which was expected. That was the only reason I'm not in a Massey 4710. I like his dealer. I like his service. Massey's just finance programs aren't quite there, but they're getting there. And like I say, I hope here around if they get it on the 15th, they'll have to do setup. I'm hoping maybe by the 1st of June to have a new baler here that's purchased in our name, be it a Vermeer 504 Pro, be it possibly a John Deere. They're probably going to bring that baler back out and show me that it can bale bales without net wrapping around rollers. Got McHale people coming out. The McHale is really out of our price range. That's a very nice high-end baler. but $60,000 is a lot of money for a baler. A lot of money for a baler. I would rather spend that in a big square baler and a tractor, and just go to making big square bales, which is continuous and they stack better and everything else. Yeah, okay. Hey, thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate that, Bob. I'm glad the video's coming in good. This is all off of a hotspot on my phone and a little Mac Airbook that I bought, a little refurbished Mac Airbook. So I'm glad that it's coming in well. Next is going to be, I'm going to try to fabricate some kind of way to put this computer in the tractor, and maybe we'll be baling some hay this afternoon. But I'm going to probably go ahead and end the live. I've really got to get to the field. I need to spray paint this hitch and get it back up to the lady. If you haven't watched this whole live stream and you're coming in at the end and you want to know what's going on with my baler, why we got rid of the Kubota baler, it is incomplete in this live stream. And I don't know. I might go back and put it in the description, but I'm not going to retitle it from what we were doing. We were welding a hitch on the neighbor's four-wheeler, and I'm not really trying to blast anybody. I don't want to be that guy. I already feel like they're kind of blacklisting me on their computers to where they're not going to give me any service at any dealer I go to with either of my tractors. And if that is the case, I can promise that the one that's paid for will get traded for something else or sold. And the lease, as soon as the lease is up, she'll go back. And I won't own another Kubota product. I'm not going to be a picketer and stand out in front of their dealers. But my voice will be heard, and it'll be heard loud and clear. And that's the only way it can be. I've spent probably close to $500,000 with those folks in the past few years. And if they don't want my business or think I'm going to continue to grow, then so be it. But everybody have a great afternoon. I appreciate the people that did stop in and watch the live. So y'all have a great one. Hopefully, like I say, we'll see you from the tractor in just a little while. Everybody have a good day. Remember, hit that thumbs up on your way out, guys. It'll greatly appreciate it. Hello. It is.